Moreno close up, and Moreno just doesn't seem to have the steam down the straight to be able to get back onto terms with Wallace. Into Champion. Out of Champion. Now to the Pie Chicane, the half roundabout.
As you can see now, Simon, with this tremendous battle for second place going on, Moreno is now pulled out to 8.86 seconds.
And behind this battle, in 5th place, Luis Sala. In 6th place, Olivier Griard now. So Modena, Wallace, Moreno, Gugelmin, Sala and Griard, the top 6. And Andy Wallace holding the hopes of this 75,000 crowd in Birmingham, who obviously are cheering him on every inch of the way. Still hanging on to this second place. Still Moreno trying to push young Andy into a mistake, and still Andy seems to be keeping it all together. 26-year-old in the Lola from Madgwick Motorsport.
And Moreno challenging. No, he's just pulled back.
And we understand that the reason for Martini's retirement was a suspension failure over the bumps of the circuit. So obviously this race certainly isn't run yet, this very, very punishing race. And once more, it's that shell corner, isn't it, Nigel, where Moreno is able to get as close as he does to Wallace, but it's not close enough.
That's right. I just wonder whether Andy's got a little bit of brake problems, because Roberto does appear to be able to pull well close to him on braking alone. Again, Roberto is so close. These shots from the helicopter now, quite magnificent. You can actually see now him slipstreaming him down the straight. He's got within a car's length, half a car's length, and now he's pulling out on the outside and staying in on the braking. He'll be following him as closely as he can around here now. Look, he's probably 1 foot behind. But again, Andy gets the power down far better out of Halford's Corner, which just gives him that extra car's length to stay in front before coming into Ferodo Corner.
460 horsepower these boys have under their right foot, in a car that weighs about as much as a Mini or an Escort. So tremendous amount of oomph out of these tight corners, and Wallace using every bit of that horsepower to stay just out of reach of Roberto Moreno at the moment. The laps ticking away now. We're on lap 46 of the 51, so 5 laps left to go, and still Wallace can't afford to put the slightest wheel wrong. If he taps a barrier, if he misses a gear, it could all be over for him.
Yes, absolutely, and it must be said that Gugelmin is sitting just behind both of them, so if they make a mistake, you know, he could inherit second place. But again, Roberto is pushing and is in the perfect position if he can hang on to him now around Champion Corner. Around Champion Corner, approaching Pie Chicane. If he can hang on to him now, he can slipstream down the straight.
That's Gugelmin watching it all. Gugelmin has a grandstand view at the back of this trio, and he's right in the slipstream now, and now he does pull out. Wallace keeps the door shut and into the braking area over that wicked bump with the rear wings moving around on the chassis as the tremendous punishment of G-forces that these cars take, and away out of Halfords, and still Wallace hangs on to this second place. A magnificent defensive drive as the laps tick away. We're now on lap 47 of the 51. Oh, and he's off! Wallace off! Wallace straight off, and he spins the car round, and he's going to restart, but Andy Wallace went straight off. I don't know what happened to the car behind him, but all the gravel coming away from the car. Wallace seemed to make a mistake, and we're going to watch it again.
That's right, he's coming into the braking area, and I just think either his brakes failed, he's locked the fronts up, and the backs are still going. I think actually he might have had a bit of brake fade there. It just didn't retard, or he left his braking just too late. But that is a great shame, because he was driving a great race.
Well, that's interesting, because Nigel was wondering whether Wallace did have a braking problem, and certainly the front wheels both locked and the backs didn't. It may well be that there's not enough braking on the back of this car. Whatever the reason, Andy Wallace must be absolutely furious with himself, with his car, with fate, because this wonderful second place, while Modena, of course, is still out in front. We understand that he's now rejoined in 5th place. So Wallace has been able to restart in 5th place, having had that immense moment. Obviously, Moreno's gone by into 2nd place. Gugelmin's gone by into 3rd. Luis Sala, last year's winner, is now 4th. And Andy Wallace has come out in 5th place, just ahead of Olivier Gruillard.